everybody, welcome back for another video on the Atlantic Wall D-Day to Fillets by Decision Games. It's 4th of July, as you can hear in the background there. And so there'll probably be some booms going off in the neighborhood because we can do fireworks in West Fargo here during the 4th of July. So people have been shooting them off little by little all day today. So it's starting to get a little bit closer to dark. But I'm in here today because it's like 90 degrees out and like soup. So I thought it'd be more fun to do a video than to do fireworks tonight. I might watch some out the window or something, or maybe go out later if it cools down. But we've had thunderstorms rolling through, which is fairly typical for 4th of July in North Dakota. Anyway, thought we'd get started on the next video. This got some fun stuff in it. We're going to be doing, this is Allied Airborne Movement. And after that, I think we have the combat, the second combat. This is the second Allied Airborne Movement. Then we have the second combat, I think. And then I think in that video, we might wrap it up. And then after that is the beach videos coming next. So we are getting close to the beach landings. And so anyway, remember, if you want to support the channel, down below, there's some links for you there. You can click on them and go into Amazon. And if you buy something on Amazon, the channel gets a little bit of kickback on that. It doesn't cost you anything extra. They give us some of the fees they collect from sellers. Or you can also buy this game or any of the games really on the Little Big Wars website. That's my game store. Channel's separate from the game store. It's more of a labor of love. I have seen a ton of Atlantic Wall videos coming out. In fact, I hate to slow this up, but I wanted to give out some, wrong one. I wanted to give out some cred because I just subscribed to his channel today. I got the Tabletop's Edge here. They're doing some great videos as always. I don't know if I know his first name, so we'll just call him Tabletop's Edge. Love his videos, been watching those. I have to watch this one next. I like his of a young gosling. That's awesome. And then I just subscribed to Monster on My Table. He does some excellent videos on Atlantic Wall. And, you know, I think to me, this is just great for the hobby. It's healthy for the hobby. We want to see more. The more stuff that's out there, the more help people can get to understand how to do it, the more player base we get. I think that's awesome. So I want to take a little time out to give a shout out to those guys. They do some great stuff. Tabletop's Edge got me into BCS. I'd never played it before. I had COVID back when he was making the videos. I think he had 2 or 3 of them, and I watched them all. And because I was down for the count for like 2 weeks in October. And so I watched all his videos, and I'm like, okay, that system looks fun. So that's like my second favorite World War II system, I think, right now. So granted, I'm pretty inexperienced with World War II. All my gaming in the past when I was younger and stuff was Civil War, stuff like that. But anyway, let's get right into this. So I'm going to zoom in. I had some people ask to zoom in a little bit more. We'll try this. I don't know. You guys tell me if you like it or not. You know what? I don't want to do the movement part for that because that's going to be kind of hard to watch. If we get any interesting moments, though, we'll try to zoom in a little bit so you can see counters and stuff better. So anyway, let's get on with the second movement. This one, I don't know how long this video will be. This might be kind of a short one. Because then after that, we do some combat on a video. I might try to do that tonight. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to get caught up because I've been having so much fun playing. I'm actually onto the 6 p.m. turn for the Germans. I'm doing the German turn, so I need to get caught up before I forget a bunch of the stuff that maybe happened. Because the further out you get, the harder it's to go back for me and do these. So let's go ahead and get caught up. So for the second movement phase, we go back to rule 14.3.0. But this time, units that are in a marsh can move. You remember the first movement phase, if they started in a marsh, they could not move unless they're on a road. Then we're going to do some para-company reorganization. That is one of my favorite parts of this game. It's one of, like, so some of the stuff I really like is like you play Walk Dem Rhine. I don't know what it is about the Americans appearing and rushing to the line to get in defense. I love that. That's exciting. things like reorganizing and seeing what stuff does. I think it's because it's kind of a little bit different every game. And then like where they scatter is super fun. I like the beach landings because you don't know what you're going to get coming off the beach. I also like to see how the Germans, I love the activation, like only so many Germans are going to activate for the first few turns to see what happens, how much they activate, and what you can use those troops for. I don't know why that stuff does it for me, but it really does. I just like, wow, that's just fun. So anyway, let's get going. I kind of got sidetracked there. So we got reorganization. 41.3.4, reorganization of a para company, not a flame of war unit. This begins the movement segment stacked with another company of the same battalion may reorganize into the battalion counter. So if you remember, in this game, there's reorganizing and there's regrouping, okay? And I got to figure out how to remember that because I almost always get it backwards. Reorganizing is where we got these dudes down here, right? So like here we got this all, you know what, I'll zoom in for this, but unfortunately this little pop-up box is going to stay the same. Yeah, see, it's the same. It kills me. And I don't know if this would help or not. Well, let me move these and see what happens. So here we have, if you see, we have G, H, and I companies, and they're all of 3rd Battalion of the 506th, right? So now these three are starting out together, all right? And they will get to reorganize into a full battalion. So you'll see how that works. And that's going to give, so right now you see they're all a 126. So if this unit attacked, it would have 3 attack strength points. But watch what happens when we get to reorganize it. All right. So I got on here the 101st, the 501st, and the 506 can reorganize. So if you look at this one, you probably won't see it as much because I'm not going to pull it apart each time. I'm hoping that doesn't mess with my log file really. But if you look at this right here, we have the A company of the 1st Battalion, C company of the 1st Battalion, and D company of the 2nd Battalion. So the 2nd Battalion unit can't reorganize into that unit. You can't just take 3, right? They got to be from the same battalion. But there is 2 of them. So watch what happens. We have 126s is what they are. And this is why it's really beneficial. All right. I guess we're going to do this one first, the 506 first. So I guess I'm showing you. Okay, so the 501st. So we take off the 2 guys, and I'll show you what I did with them. This is the Airborne display. So they should be, maybe I didn't put them on there yet. Oh, they're there. I'm looking at the 82nd. So if you go on that display, right, you remember this is the display, the Airborne display, where all of our where we rolled to see where units went to. And if you look, these are all the battalion counters, right? So when these 3 form up, they're a 126 each. So by themselves, they fight as a 326 attacking. But if you can combine them all together, they have all the benefits of being a full battalion, and then they're a 5. So you gain 2 extra strength points, right? So I put these 2 here, and then I'm going to take this thing off, and you'll see that disappear. It's going to pop right up here. Okay, and then I had to flip it over because we only have the first 2. Now, we don't know if this guy got killed off as a flame. I play Flames of War miniature game, FOW. So we don't know if this Fog of War unit died, if he was one of the guys that landed in something and we don't know because we don't get to look at that, or if he's still one of these trying to regroup, okay? So any questions on that, let me know. But basically now when we reorganize, we're taking these full units. I'll do one more with the 506 right here. Because remember now there was the G, H, and I, so we're going to get all 3 of those. So I'm pulling all 3 of those off, and there they are. G, H, and I. Oh, I'm sorry, the 501st. I was showing you the 506 thing. So that's this unit over here. And then that goes on the board right where they reorganize. Now, reorganizing is supposed to use half your movement. But I think with this limited movement, I don't know if you're required to do that or not. I'd have to check into that. But so anyway, every bit will help. And we'll go look at the 82nd and see. And the 6th Airborne, the 82nd didn't have any. So the 6th Airborne had some, and I'll zoom out for that. but it's going to be the same process. So if we look at this, this has a company of 7P, 5PX. Now, I don't understand the Commonwealth stuff, so I need to learn that. But, you know, I can look on the chart. So if we zoom over here, we go up to the top. So we got the, what I say, 5PX. So right here, it's the 7th para, 7P, A company, B company, C company. And I'm guessing that the regiment is the 5PX, but I don't know what the PX stands for. So anyway, again, still learning that stuff, but I can get by enough with what I know. So we're going to organize as much as we can there. So there was 2 there. So if you see, we'll place a flipped over counter because it has, so you got the 2 dots there, right there for the, let me zoom into that. Just, I don't want to assume too much, but you see the 2 steps. That is the number of steps, and we put 2 companies up on the chart. So we got 2 steps on that. And if we zip way back over to the 101st, you can see the difference. Here's the 3-step guy with 3 steps on him, and here's the other weaker 2-step guy. So anyway, so that's it for reorganizing. Now regrouping. Now this is one of my absolute favorite parts, because this is where all these dudes who've been trying to get back to these drop zones, right? You got drop zone D and E, and I'd be curious. I want to ask the guy with a monster on my table, because he does a really good job step by step, and he addressed the issue of drop zones landing together, but I don't recall him saying anything of how you regroup on those. I only allowed 4 units because you're only allowed to stack 4 units in a hex that are fog of war units. You can have the regular stacking plus 4 fog of war units. So I assumed you could only still have 4, and then I took the best one out of the 2 for the regroup. I'm not sure if you're supposed to do it that way, but I'd love some feedback on that if there's any players that play it regularly. So now this is one of my favorite parts. This is where we're going to find out which guys are faking. Like, you know, so here we have drop zone T. We got Ridgeway there. We got the H company, the 507th 3rd Battalion, and we got 4 guys we're going to try to figure out. I don't know which stack we're doing first. I was just showing you that one. But okay, so regrouping. This is rule 41.3.5. So fog of war units, once all reorganization is complete, which you get to do that at the beginning of your movement phase, the Allied side may attempt to regroup fog of war units. Fog of war units are eligible to regroup if stacked with a DZ marker, drop zone, or a leader. So here you can see Gavin, all right? He's not in a drop zone, but he is over here protecting this bridge that goes down to Les Moutiers en Bobtois, whatever that is. And he's protecting that bridge because there's some armor down there. And there's some, you know, some Fallschirmjäger down there and stuff like that. So he's protecting that, but he can try to convert guys himself. All right. They only convert on a 3, but I mean, a lot of these drop zones for the Americans are just horrid anyway. So we're going to do drop zone V first. Oh, I guess we're going to do the 6th Airborne first. So drop zone V. All right. So if we go to drop zone V, and let's kind of cover this one more time. I know this is in a different video, but let's see, where did I have my landing zone? I wasn't planning on this. Oh, here we go. All right, so here was my original landing zones. We covered this in one of the other videos talking about landing zones. And if you look at drop zone V here for the 6th Airborne, they had an A status, which is very important because remember, that's going to decide how easily they regroup, because basically they're not scattered as much as if they had a D or an E status, which is horrible. Which if you look up here, the 82nd had D, 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 E, the 101st had B, E, D, C, and then the 6th Airborne had C, A, B. So way better. Okay, so we have an A, which means we would go up. Here's the Airborne thing. Scroll over to here. And if you look at the A, it's a little bit blurry this zoomed in. That's why I don't like to zoom in as much, but whatever. So if you look at the A, this number next to the A, this is your regrouping number. Okay, so if you have a B status, you're a 6. If you go all the way to an E, that's a 2. So it's better just to have a leader by himself, let alone an E status. Now, if you have a leader in the hex, he's going to give you a +1 to help you out. So that's very good. But what are we doing here? We're doing V. Okay, so V, I forgot to look. What was V? Well, let's see, I probably put it in my notes. Let's see if I did that. All right, so the status was A, so we need a 7 or lower to flip them. So what I usually do is if I was playing this, I would open this up and then I'm going to roll from the top to the bottom, right? So I'm just going to make 4 rolls, 2, 5, 7, 5. So that means all of these guys will reveal. Now this is where we'll see if they're dummy units or if they're actual units, and we're hoping for a lot of actual units. So they all pass. So there we get another Canadian company, Commonwealth, some UK, and we got 1 dummy. So 3 out of 4, that ain't bad. We'll take it. Okay, so he just goes in the eliminated box. And we'll do drop zone N, and he has a leader on it. All right, so that's going to be this one right here. Now this one, it is legally stacked right now. Actually, I don't know if it's legally stacked, but since they all just dropped this turn, they can stay on there. And then I have 4 Fog of War units, but we have General Gale on there. So he's going to help us out. So let's see what he did. So status was a B, okay? So that would normally be a 6, but because there's a leader there, it's a 7. So again, we got 4 to roll for, so I'll pop that open. I'll blow that up so I can see those. And we'll go pass, 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 pass. So, all right, 6th Airborne is killing it on the regrouping. So we flip them over. We got 2 real ones, a 3rd real one, and a dummy. So we get rid of that dummy unit. And Germans occupy drop zone K right now, so there's no other spots to regroup for the 6th Airborne. I said a quick check. I'm seeing that at least 2 more partial battalions forming in the 6 a.m. turn, so that's going to help. So over in the 6th Airborne area, they are going to have some opportunity to start to reorganize these into battalions. Like obviously these 2 Canadian ones will go together, so that would be a 2-step battalion marker we could pull off. All that stuff will help in the defense. All right, let's keep going through this. Let's get over to the 82nd Airborne, drop zone 0, right northwest of St. Mary-Glisse. And these are not going to be as good. So status was a D, which makes it a 3, and we have 2 to roll for on there. Okay, so there they are. We get a 0, so that's good, and a 7. So that means the top guy would get revealed, and he is a dummy counter, so that's a bummer. All right, drop zone T, so right here, we have 4 on there, and we got a leader. So I usually like to leave my leaders spread out, but my drop zone statuses were so bad in this game that I thought if they got the leader there, I'd try to utilize the leader a little bit. So we have 4 on there with the leader. It was status D as well, but the leader will make it a 4 or less to pass, and we got 4 guys. And I got a 4, 7, 3, and a 1, so that's 3 out of 4. I think, was it Meatloaf that said 3 out of 4 ain't bad? So we'll take it. So let's reveal them. Oh, we get a dummy right away. We do get another company and a 2nd dummy. Oh, that's brutal. That's and I just happened to type brutal when I was playing it myself. So anyway, drop zone N, that has 3 Fog of War units on it. That's also status D, so that's going to be a 3, and I rolled a 0, 8, and a 6. So they're only going to get 1. So the top unit right there, and that's it. All right, drop zone W has 2 on it, and it was status E. So that's a big old 2. A 4 and a 1. So we actually got 1, which is pretty amazing. So we got to be super happy with that. All right. Oh, and that was a dummy unit, I think. I lost track where I was at there. Okay. Oh, yeah, it was a dummy unit. Okay, so leader Gavin, we talked about him. He's down here. He's got 4 units, and a leader by himself is a 3. So a 5, 6, 8, 6. He does none. So that's not good. All right, so now we're going to jump over here to some 101st Airborne. Now this is the one I didn't know what to do, so I'd love some input on it. There's 2 drop zones there. It doesn't say you can stack more because of the drop zones. That's just where the Pathfinder's scattered to. So I took the best drop zone stat to offset that, and we'll see. I don't know how else you do it because you have no idea where these guys came from, which drop zone they're part of. Okay, so this is also an E, or a D, and it said I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, so I'll give him the better status. So B was the other one, and so we need a 6, and there's 4 fog of war units on there. So let's blow that up so we can see what we get. We get a 2, 9, 2, 9. So mixed bag. We get 2 different ones to reveal. So if you look right here, this is where we're going to reveal them. I'll zoom in on that. We'll see how that looks. So there we get F Company of the 2nd Battalion of the 501st and a dummy. Because remember, I had this passed, he failed, he passed, he failed. So we got another dummy counter. That's a bummer. But what do you do? Okay, drop zone A is an E status. It has a 2, and there's no leaders, and there's 4 of them to roll. So let's see if I can scroll down there. Let's push that back. Okay, I think that's, where did I say we're at? Drop zone A. That here? Right here. So drop zone A. We got 4 dudes on there. We need a 2 or less. 2, 6, 6, 1. I mean, that's 50%. I mean, that's like Vegas stuff right there. But all right, so the top guy, let's zoom in so you can see. So we're going to reveal this guy and this guy is who we're going to reveal. So he's an actual company and another dummy counter. Yay! So that's not good because that means that remember, these are the guys that way back in the beginning either landed on enemies and got killed, or landed in the ocean or marsh or some kind of terrain that killed them. So we have no idea. So the more dummies we get here, the more potential we're going to actually lose dudes we need. So we don't like that. All right, so let's, I think we're going to go down to south drop zone. Glider zone E was a C status, so a 4. And where was that? I think I just looked at that, right? Yeah. All right, so let's go look at that. So we need a 4 or less. 5, 4, 5, 2. So this guy and this guy should reveal. Again, 50%. We get a real dude and a real dude. So we like that. Okay. And then I say we're on to movement. So that's all part of the beginning of the movement phase. You have reorganization, and then you get to regroup. And that's the guys, basically, they're coming from all over the place where they dropped, and they're starting to form up into functional units that can go out and start attacking and causing problems. Because these fog of war units aren't the greatest for causing problems. They'll get shoved around pretty easy with a defensive value of 1. They have no attack value and a PR of 6. You can see when we're organized down here into our full battalion, we have an attack of 8 and a defense of 9 for our PR, so an attack value of 5. So we like that. Okay, so fog of war units may move up to 2 hexes. However, fog of war units must move toward a drop zone or a bridge hex side that it will attempt to destroy. And I made the comment that I'll sometimes do that to be a little gamey, because you get to if you destroy the bridge, you can try to reveal the counter. But it's in the rules, and I talked to some other guys, and they're like, I do the same thing. But I'm pretty inexperienced. So like I've told you guys many times, do not watch this as a how-to video for tactics and strategy. Because I don't have a big plan other than, so like, when you war game with your buddies, I don't know if you guys that are in war game groups, if you're war game with like about 6, 7, 8, 10 guys on a fairly regular basis, even if it's once a month, over the years, you kind of learn their command styles and how they play. It's kind of cool because it's kind of like the Civil War. Like, the commanders all knew each other on both sides, so they kind of knew the tendencies of who was sheepish, who was aggressive, who was, timid, who was, by the book, whatever, right? So as you play with friends, you kind of get to know it. My play style is I'm a counterpuncher. So I am a horrible planner. I don't know, I'm horrible, but I'm not a great planner. And I move stuff around. I have an overall plan, but I mean, I'm not like, I have friends that when they set up their stuff, I'm like, ooh, that looks really good. That doesn't look good for me. And then I have to wait for them to make a mistake and then pounce on that mistake. So, bouncing around, blah, 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 and they make a mistake and pow, give them a counterpunch. So that's kind of my play style. So when I'm playing solo, I'm more immersing myself into the history and looking at names. Like I've been reading books on Omaha and Utah and the sword Juno and gold. And so when they start talking about like towns and villages and places where they were starting to try to break out, I like looking at all that stuff. I like to come over here because I know Saint Marie du Mont was a big thing. And let me hide these guys. I don't mean to rabbit trail, but it's so much fun. Uh, Saint Saint Martin de Verville was an important thing when they were coming off a Utah beach and they were trying to hook up with some paratroopers. Um, and I think right here and I don't want to say that because I don't know for sure, so I don't want to teach a bogus history by accident. But I know that they were trying to hook up with the paratroopers, so these guys were pushing this way, and at the same time, I mean, these dudes. Uh, I got distracted on this because the whole point was I don't want to start just blowing bridges to blow them because one of my goals is I'm supposed to cut the peninsula here. I'm supposed to cut Cherbourg off way up north here, right? So if I go blow all this stuff, then I got to rebuild it all. Now, maybe it's easy to do. I haven't played enough. I love G.O.S.S, but I haven't played enough to have mastered it and know all the everything, right? So to me, it's a fairly new experience almost every time I play. Anyway, kind of getting sidetracked there, but that's the stuff I really dig. Okay, so they can move to a drop zone or they can move toward a bridge that they're going to attempt to destroy. So we know that. But all other airborne units, including leaders, may move up to 3 hexes in any direction desired. So all these guys who are organizing now, or these glider units that came in and leaders, they're starting to give you more tactical leeway, right? Like these guys were obviously reorganized last turn, and they pushed down this road towards Saint Comdumont because I wanted to try to get to Carentan, but there's a couple of big juicy units here in the way. Now there is a bridge here, and there's a bridge here, and there's a little bridge over here, but I just don't have any kind of power to exploit all that stuff. So, and I've done some stuff with that. We'll get to it. I'm a little bit ahead on that. I kind of also want to catch up because I feel like I'm going to give away some spoilers because of things that have already happened, and I might say something and then look at the map and go, "Oh, I'm not there yet, so sorry." So, I'm not sure on that. But anyway, so they can move 3 hexes, and so we're going to start moving some stuff around. So here we are with Gavin. Now, he was protecting this bridge, but I'm pulling back a little bit. And I'm going to put up some of these better dudes because these guys are fog of war units. They have a defensive value of 1 each, and they have a PR of 6 for their defense. I think it's offense and defense. Well, they don't have an offense because they can't attack. Or now, if this guy gets attacked, he's only a 2, but I'm going to bring some more guys up, I think. And he's got a 9. So these guys can defend a little bit better. And these guys are coming out of here. And see, this is the part I love about wargaming and things like G.O.S.S with the details. You can say, these guys up here just northeast of Pickaville headed down over into this marsh area so that they could help defend, not the marsh area, the bridge area, so they could help defend. I was off a little bit. They're in these woods southwest of Guitaville. So anyway, I don't speak French, so I'm probably killing all that. So they're coming down these roads. That's why I'm zigzagging instead of just moving that way because, you got to utilize the road. Otherwise, you chew up a lot more movement. All right, so we got 3 on there, which is the max stack of just 3 basic units. I don't have attachment units or anything I can put on there. You can do attachments and stuff. And so now I'm starting to try to consolidate more fog of war units towards these. I'm just going to kind of burn through this part because this part here isn't something that, we need to go over every step. But basically, this is a drop zone here. There's like a drop zone here, 2 of them, a drop zone here, a drop zone that's not there. Where's it at? Right here? Yeah. And so there's other drop zones I haven't shown you, but so these guys have to go towards those drop zones or stay where they are. Well, it doesn't do me a lot of good to try to stay where I am because I need to get these guys flipped to see what they are. So I'm gonna just kind of move through here, and if I see something interesting now, like these guys, they had kind of limited movement because there was marsh earlier, and these guys can only move 2. So we're just kind of becoming speed bumps here in case this armor or this big Fallschirmjäger battalion decide to come up there and mess with us. And these guys, I'd kind of like to get them across the river. Now, earlier, someone was telling me in one of my posts, they said, yeah, just blow the bridges. You can use engineers to build them later. They're probably right. Not saying they're not right. I just haven't chose to do that yet. So, okay, so they're moving, trying to, building a little bit of a line of defense here. I don't know when these guys are going to activate. I don't read ahead and stuff as much as possible because I like to kind of be surprised and take it on the fly, kind of give me some fog of war. So I continue to move these guys towards drop zones. Here we got some guys that have reorganized. Yeah, regrouped. Yeah, reorganize is joining into battalions, regrouping is fog of war units. So we're just kind of trying to set up kind of a little bit of a perimeter here. In fact, I might zoom out for this. You guys tell me if that's too far, but this way the map doesn't jerk around too much when I'm showing you guys. When I play it at the other zoom level, but this will be a little nicer for showing you stuff. So let's scroll down. Okay, so here we're putting a little pressure on the 91st Division of the Germans, and we got some artillery we're wheeling up with, but they're from the 82nd Airborne. You got to love all the chaos. We got 101st guys, 82nd guys. It's good stuff. So get the HQ kind of over there and safe. Get some engineers up there. Some anti-tank. Not really sure why I want to put the anti-tank there yet. Again, I just kind of move stuff around. I just have fun moving stuff around. Like I said, don't watch this for a best tactics video. I'm sure there's other guys out there that could totally put out a great video on that. All right, so we got some more full counters. We're just kind of moving them up because they're a little juicier. Even if they're kind of weaker, they still have way better PR, and they got some attack and stuff like that. So there's a W drop zone. Like some of these, if you hover over them, you don't always see it. Like this drop zone, you can't see it under there. So you'll see me move a guy off because I know where it is and I can go up here and I can look at where all the drop zones are based on this stuff here. You got drop zone A54. So sometimes you got to kind of go look at that so you don't mess up. So anyway, we're just kind of moving fog of war units. So you're going to start seeing stuff kind of grouping. I'd love to get this solidified more. Now, the beauty was we took out the Germans that were defending that, which is always sweet because you don't have great units for attacking early in the game. Now, remember, this is still, well, let's see. This would, I guess, probably be kind of the AM turn, the first phase. It seems like that's kind of the after midnight, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. This would be like, I imagine that now they're hearing the naval guns and things like that. So they're trying to reorganize. Jump over here to the 6th. We're going to kind of I want to start protecting these roads. I got some Germans here. And we want to clear this off and get some more fog of war units on there so we can try to get those. The British are really good about reorganizing. Get some guys over here to protect this and get them off this so they're not illegally stacked because now I got way too many guys on there. So, and the key is when I'm putting them out here is to put groups that can regroup, reorganize. So anyway, so get the fog of war units on there. We're going to leave Gale on there to help organize. And we're going to keep, we had that little guy way down south. So Germans got a pretty nice little line coming up here from the south to hit the 6th Airborne. I want to say it's been a little while since I looked at the file. Oh, there's drop zone K. So they're going to destroy drop zone K here pretty soon, which is kind of, I've never had a drop zone get destroyed yet, so that's something new. All right, so I'm doing a little changing around there. Also, and I'm not going to have you wait for all this, I'm just going to probably call it here in the video, but these WNs, Widerstanden Nesten, or whatever they're called, Widerstanden Nest, these do not, they start active. And I don't know where that is in the rule book. I know I've seen it. Somebody put it on a video. They commented on the Facebook page. I'm pretty sure that's accurate, so I just activated them all because they can't move. They can only shoot, and they can shoot when they're right at the beginning as long as they have a spotter. So that's going to be the end of this file. I'm going to call this a wrap. I'm trying to do a little shorter videos so they're not so long to watch. And the next one is going to be, I think it's the last round of combat. And then we're going to do the beach landing. So I'm excited for that. That's a fun part of the game. I love the detail of the beach landings. And then the thing, and it's kind of that goofy thing we talked about, right? Where the beach landings will start to let me push off guys out into these hexes here, because this matches up with the beach landing map, and then you get to start pushing onto the map. And I don't know why I'm so nerdy about that stuff, why that's so much fun. I mean, that is just, interesting to see who is getting off the beach, who's gotten up like on the American on Omaha, who's gotten up over the bluffs and stuff like that and pushed in. So anyway, we'll wrap it up with that. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you want to support the channel, to buy stuff through the Amazon link, or if you need gaming stuff, try buying from our store. If you don't have a local store, I do encourage people to always support your friendly local store if you got one. But if they don't bring in the stuff you want, or if you ask them and they don't want to, or they're not interested, by all means, make us your friendly local game store online for stuff. So that's a little big words. And then if you got any comments or anything you'd like to say, let me know. Always love to hear from you guys. So thanks for watching.